Am I the asshole for turning off my roommate's alarm every morning without waking her up? You ever live with someone and slowly realize something's off? I, 22, live with my roommate, Emily, 23. When we first moved in together for our final year of college, she seemed normal enough, quiet, respectful, clean. But within a week, I started noticing something strange. Every single morning, exactly at 6 a.m., her alarm would go off. And not just any alarm. This thing is loud. Shrieking. Like a fire drill set to panic mode. It's so intense that it jolts me awake from across the apartment. And the weirdest part? She never gets up. At first, I thought she was a deep sleeper or maybe forgot to turn it off. But it kept happening. The alarm would blare for 15, sometimes 20 minutes, and she'd stay in bed. No movement. No snooze. No fumbling to turn it off. Eventually, I started getting up and walking into her room to turn it off myself. We don't lock our bedroom doors, and she never reacted. Just lay there, completely still, like she wasn't even alive. I'm not exaggerating. It was like walking into a morgue every morning. Eyes shut, arms at her sides, no twitch, no breath I could see. I'd turn off the alarm and leave. She'd stay like that until sometime later when I'd hear her moving around like nothing happened. After a week of this, I asked her about it. She laughed and said, "Oh yeah, I don't really hear alarms anymore. My body just ignores them. You can turn it off if it bugs you." Cool. So now it's my job, I guess. For the next few weeks, this became a routine. Alarm goes off. I wake up. Walk into her pitch-dark room. She's lying completely still. I turn it off. Walk out. But then it started to bother me in a different way. Her stillness didn't seem normal. It was too deliberate. Her body always perfectly straight. Her face too blank. Like she was pretending to be asleep. Like she knew I was there. Watching. One night I tested something. I didn't go in right away when the alarm went off. I waited. 5 minutes passed. 10. 15. Still no movement from her room. Finally, I got up and walked in same as always. And just as I reached to press the alarm off, I swear I saw her lips twitch into a smile. Barely. But it was there. The next morning, I left my phone recording from the kitchen counter, angled toward her hallway. I wanted proof. Maybe even just reassurance that I wasn't losing it. When I played the video back later that day, I froze. At 6 a.m., the alarm goes off. Loud. Echoing through the apartment. But then, 10 seconds later, before I even appear in the frame, the alarm stops. No one walks in. No shadow. No movement. Just silence. I sat there staring at the screen. Did she get up early? Turn it off herself? Nope. When I went to check on her that morning, she was still in bed. Same corpse-still posture. No sign she'd moved. I started avoiding her room. Tried sleeping with headphones. Nothing helped. The sounds still cut through. And she still didn't get up. Then, last week, she mentioned she had an early job interview. She said it in passing, no specifics, no date. So when the alarm went off that morning, I did what I always do. I got up. Walked into her room. But this time, the air felt different. The room colder. I hesitated at the door. She was lying slightly differently, arms crossed over her chest. Eyes shut. But something in me didn't want to go closer. Still, I turned off the alarm. She didn't wake up. An hour later, she screamed. Literally screamed from her room. She'd slept through the interview. Missed it. Blamed me. "Why the hell didn't you wake me up?" she shouted. I reminded her that I wasn't her alarm clock. That she told me to turn it off if it bothered me. She said I should have known it was important. That I should have shaken her awake. But I didn't know. And honestly, I didn't want to touch her. Something about her when she sleeps, it's not right. She's been telling our mutual friends that I let her fail on purpose. That I'm creepy for walking into her room every morning. Some of them are taking her side. Saying I should have just nudged her. But they haven't seen what I've seen. They haven't walked into that cold room, seen her lying there like a mannequin. Completely still. Never once catching her mid-turn or halfway awake. Never once hearing her breathe. And that recording? I showed it to one person, my best friend. She watched it 3 times and just said, "That's not normal." then asked if I've ever checked to see if she's breathing in the mornings. I haven't. I'm not sure I want to. So now I'm left wondering, am I the asshole for not waking her up? Or is something else waking up instead?
So I recently moved into a cheap apartment in a kind of sketchy part of town. It's not glamorous, but it's mine. Old hardwood floors, cracked windows, weird stains in the corners. But rent's cheap, so who cares, right? Wrong. It started with a smell. Not strong at first, just a faint, sour odor near the hallway, like wet wood or something rotting behind the walls. I figured it was old pipes or the neighbors cooking. Then I noticed the hallway felt colder than the rest of the apartment. Always, even when the heat was on full blast. I mentioned it to my landlord. He shrugged and said, "That building's got a weird layout. Lot of history. Just keep the doors closed." Thanks for nothing. One night, I got up to grab water, and as I passed the hallway, I heard a creak. Not from the floor, from inside the wall. That's when I started knocking on the walls, just to be sure I wasn't imagining things. Tap, tap, solid. Tap, tap, hollow. Near the end of the hallway, behind where a bookshelf was bolted to the wall, the sound changed. I unscrewed the shelf. Took me 2 hours. Behind it, a door. No handle, no hinges, just a panel with a tiny keyhole dead center. Now, I know what you're thinking. Leave it alone. I wanted to, I did. But at 3 a.m. the next night, I heard it. Scratching. Slow, deliberate, from behind that door. I slept in my car. The next morning, I picked the lock. Don't ask how, I YouTubed it. Bad idea. The panel creaked open to reveal a narrow staircase going down. Mind you, my apartment is on the 2nd floor. There shouldn't be stairs going anywhere. I should have closed it, called someone. But something in me needed to know. I grabbed my phone flashlight and went down. The air was heavy. Dust floated like snow. And after about 10 steps, I found myself in a small, windowless room, brick walls, dirt floor, and in the center, a mattress, old, stained, sunken in the middle like someone had been lying there for years. Next to it was a journal. Only a few pages were readable. Most were soaked and smudged, but what I could read chilled me. It knocks at night. Can't sleep. Can't move. It said I could go if I brought someone else. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The last entry was just a handprint pressed in what looked like dried blood. Then the mattress shifted, just slightly, like something had exhaled beneath it. I ran, didn't look back, slammed the panel shut, and shoved the bookshelf back in place. Since then, I don't sleep much. Some nights, I hear scraping from behind the bookshelf, like nails dragging across wood. A few times, I've woken up to find the hallway light on. Once, I swear I saw something standing at the end of it, just for a second, before it stepped back into the dark. I called the landlord again, told him everything. He sighed and said, "You found the room, didn't you?" I asked him what the hell that meant. He hung up. Now every night at 3 o'clock a.m., I hear knocking. 3 times. Tap, tap, tap. And every night, it sounds just a little bit closer. I don't think the room is behind the wall anymore. I think it's already inside the apartment.
That time we got caught vaping in the janitor's closet, so. Yeah, let me tell you about the time me and 3 of my friends almost got expelled for vaping in the janitor's closet, and somehow made the principal cry. It was sophomore year. A magical time when your voice still cracks mid-sentence and you think wearing Axe body spray counts as a shower. Our friend group consisted of me, the anxious one, Zach, the kid with the vape, Eli, the hype man with no fear of consequences, and Marcus, the one who shouldn't be involved but always ends up involved. Zach had just gotten this new mango-flavored vape pen that looked like a flash drive and acted like a personality trait. He thought it was the coolest thing ever. He kept saying things like, "Bro, it's not even nicotine, it's water vapor." Lies. Anyway, during lunch one day he says, "Yo, I found a spot. The janitor's closet near the gym. No cameras. No teachers. Just mop buckets and freedom." Now, any normal person would have said, "Let's not commit a federal crime next to a mop." But we were 15 and stupid. The next day, during 5th period gym, we pulled off Operation Vape Escape. Here was the genius plan. Asked to go to the bathroom, slip into the janitor's closet, one by one vape a little mango magic, return to class like nothing happened, flawless. Right? Wrong. We forgot one tiny detail. The janitor's closet has a smoke detector. But we didn't find that out until it was too late. We're all cramped inside the closet like 4 raccoons in a trash can. Zach pulls out the vape like he's Indiana Jones, revealing a golden idol. He hits it, passes it to Eli. Eli hits it like he's training for the Olympics. I was nervous but didn't want to look lame, so I took the tiniest puff. Immediately started coughing like I had tuberculosis. Then Marcus, sweet, innocent Marcus, takes one puff, panics, and drops the vape into a mop bucket. Zach, brew. Before we can react, we hear it beep. The smoke detector starts screaming like it's being murdered. We all freeze. Then Eli, in peak survival mode, yells, "Disperse!" and kicks the door open like we're in a SWAT raid. We bolt in 4 different directions like guilty hamsters. We thought we got away with it until 6th period. We get called to the office one by one like a horror movie. I walk in and the assistant principal, Mr. Reynolds, who has the energy of a disappointed dad 24/7, just looks at me and says, "Want to tell me what you were doing in the janitor's closet?" I panicked and said, "Cleaning." He didn't laugh. They had us on camera entering the closet. Not inside, thank God, but walking in like clowns at a vape convention. Zach tried to argue it wasn't real smoke. Marcus tried to blame it on mop fumes, and Eli tried to claim it was performance art. Mr. Reynolds wasn't buying it. Now here's the worst part. They called our parents. On speaker. In front of each other. Zach's mom screamed in Spanish. Marcus's dad threatened to ground him until college. Eli's mom laughed and said, "At least it wasn't weed this time." And then, they called my mom. She answered with, "What did he do now?" "Thanks, Mom. We didn't get expelled. Somehow. Instead, we got 3 days of in-school suspension, mandatory anti-vaping seminar, a 10-page essay on making better choices, and the janitor made us mop the entire gym hallway for disrespecting the closet. Zach cried when he realized the vape was still in the mop bucket and smelled like bleach. That was 2 years ago. To this day, the janitor calls it the mango incident. There's a rumor that if you vape in the closet at midnight, you can still hear Marcus yelling, "I didn't even hit it properly." So yeah, am I the asshole for vaping in the janitor's closet? No, we were all the assholes. But at least we were dumb, funny, mango-scented assholes.
I accidentally ended up in a love triangle. And I'm the clueless one, okay? So this might sound fake, but I swear it's true. I somehow ended up in a love triangle and didn't realize I was in one until it imploded. I'm 24, pretty average guy. Let's call me Tom. Now, the triangle consisted of Sophie, my longtime friend. Sweet, sarcastic, very bookish. Maya, the new coworker. loud, funny, walks into every room like she owns the Wi-Fi. Me, just vibing, completely unaware, like a raccoon watching a house burn. So, Sophie and I have been friends since college. We've always had this weird tension. Like, people used to ask if we were dating, and we'd both say, NW, which is obviously code for yes, but we're both too emotionally constipated to admit it. Anyway, Sophie's been single for a while. I'd never made a move. I figured if she wanted something, she'd say it. Spoiler alert, no, that's not how people work. A few months ago, Maya joins our team at work. Total extrovert. Within 2 weeks, she has everyone wrapped around her finger, including me. We start texting, hanging out. I think it's casual. Then one day, Maya drops this line. I don't usually fall for coworkers, but you're different. And I, being the emotionally oblivious golden retriever that I am, go, thanks. You're different too. Ladies and gentlemen, I had just entered the triangle. Maya invites me to a party. I bring Sophie with me because I didn't want her to feel left out. Classic friend move, right? Bad idea. The moment we walk in, Maya's face shifts. Like a cartoon villain seeing their rival in the same prom dress. She spends the whole night clinging to me like I'm a human security blanket, throwing subtle shade at Sophie. Meanwhile, Sophie gets progressively quieter until she eventually leaves early. I text her, everything okay? She replies, all good. Have fun with your new best friend. I, of course, do not understand what this means. 3 days later, Maya kisses me after work. It's quick, soft, kinda nice. I didn't hate it. Then she says, I know there's something going on with you and that girl, Sophie, but I'm not afraid of a little competition. Me, wait. What? Maya, come on, Tom. She's in love with you. She was practically growling at me at the party. This is where my last 3 brain cells begin connecting the dots like a slow Wi-Fi signal. So I call Sophie. I say, can I ask you something, and I need you to be honest? She goes quiet, then says, you kissed her, didn't you? Me? Yeah. Then Sophie, in the calmest voice I've ever heard, says, I've been in love with you for 2 years, but I didn't want to ruin the friendship. So I kept waiting, hoping you'd notice. And listen, my stomach actually dropped. I felt like the human version of a sad violin. I said, I didn't know, sophomore. I really didn't. If I had, she cuts me off, you still would have kissed her. And hung up. Long story short, Maya and I didn't last more than 2 weeks. Sophie and I didn't talk for a month. And I spent every night writing the most pathetic, Nicholas Sparks-level apology text you've ever seen. Eventually, Sophie and I sat down at a coffee shop. No makeup, no drama, just truth. I told her I was an idiot, that I missed her more than I missed anything, and that, if she still wanted me, I was ready to stop being clueless and start being honest. She looked at me, smiled, and said, you owe me a date and a mango smoothie. So yeah, I was the dumb center of a love triangle. One girl kissed me. The other girl almost deleted me from her life. And now, the right one sitting next to me, still making fun of me for how long it took to notice.
We were 12 years old when we found the storm drain. It was July. Our tiny town had just been hit by 3 weeks of non-stop rain. Streets were flooded. Lawns turned to mush. And that's when we started hearing the stories. A dog went missing. Then a little girl. Then a teenager. All near the same street, Crescent Lane, the old, rotting neighborhood no one really talked about. So, of course, we went. There were 6 of us, me, Tyler, Kenny, Manny, Jay, and Lucas. We called ourselves the Backpack Crew, mostly because our moms all made us wear reflective safety straps, and we were constantly bullied for it. But that summer, we weren't thinking about bullies. We were thinking about the drain. The drain sat in the middle of a cul-de-sac that hadn't seen maintenance since the 70s. Big, rusted bars, just wide enough for a kid to crawl through if they really wanted to. It smelled like rot and moldy pennies. Jay was the first to say it. This is where it took them. We laughed, nervously, but nobody really disagreed. There was something wrong about that drain. Every time we walked by it, we felt it, like it was watching, waiting. That night, Tyler dared us to come back at midnight. We brought flashlights, bikes, and Jay brought his dad's crowbar just in case. The moment we arrived, we saw it. A shoe, small, pink, mud-caked, halfway inside the drain. We all stopped. Kenny whispered, "That's Sarah Langley's." She was the missing girl. Lucas got too close. He crouched beside the drain, reaching for the shoe when something moved. We all saw it. Not fast, not sudden. Just 2 fingers, pale and wet, curling around the inside of the grate. Lucas froze, and then a voice, her voice, echoed out from inside. "Help me, I'm stuck. Please." It sounded just like Sarah, but her mouth was still calling, while the fingers didn't move, and her words kept looping. "Help me, I'm stuck. Please, help me, I'm stuck. Please," over and over, like a broken recording. Jay grabbed Lucas and yanked him back. Suddenly, something slammed against the grate from inside, hard enough to shake the ground beneath us. We screamed. We ran. We didn't stop until we were 2 blocks away. We tried telling people, our parents, the police, anyone who would listen. Nobody believed us. They said it was a raccoon, a prank, a sewer echo. They told us to stop playing detective and stay out of Crescent Lane. But the next day, Lucas didn't come to school. We went to his house. His mom said he left for school that morning, just like normal. He never made it. The cops found his backpack. Guess where? Right by the storm drain. That night, we came back. We weren't brave. We were terrified, but Lucas was one of us. Jay used the crowbar to crack the grate open. It took all 5 of us to pry it loose. And then we went in, one by one. It was pitch black, cold. The walls were wet and covered in scratches. Some looked fresh, like claw marks. We followed the echoes, whispers, footsteps that weren't ours. The tunnel led to a chamber, and in the middle of it, standing ankle-deep in water, was Lucas. Back turned, perfectly still. We ran to him, but when he turned around, it wasn't Lucas. His eyes were too wide, his mouth stretched too far. His smile didn't move with the rest of his face. And then he said it. "Help me, I'm stuck. Please," same voice, same broken loop. And that's when the others stepped out from the shadows. The girl, the dog, the teen, all of them smiling, all of them wrong. We ran. Only 4 of us made it out. The tunnel collapsed behind us like it never existed. They never found Lucas or the others. And the town never searched that storm drain again. They sealed the whole block with concrete and put up a playground. It's still there. Sometimes at night, you can hear kids laughing underneath it. Too deep, too echoey, and never stopping, like a broken recording. "Help me, I'm stuck, please."